What if I told you by 2028, half of everyone who visits your website today just won't? Not because your product got worse and not because your competitors got better, but because the entire way humans find information on the internet is about to change so fundamentally that the website visit becomes optional. And that's not me being dramatic, that's Gartner. The people Fortune 500 companies pay millions of dollars to tell them what's coming next. And their prediction, organic search traffic to brand websites will decline by 50% or more by 2028. That's 50%. And here's the thing that keeps me up all night, it's not a future problem. 62% of marketing professionals surveyed by Acquia said they've already seen their search traffic drop, and nearly 40% can tell you the exact percentage. And this isn't coming, it's here. So, what the hell is happening? So, welcome to today's show. I'm your host, and today we are going to talk about the biggest shift in how humans access information since, well, Google invented the 10 blue links. We're going to talk about why everything you know about SEO is about to become obsolete, and most importantly, we are going to talk about what to do about it. So grab your coffee, this is going to get intense. Segment 1, the death of the blue link. Let me take you back to 1998. A couple of Stanford PhD students named Larry and Sergey have this crazy idea. What if instead of manually categorizing the internet like Yahoo was doing, you could just search it? Type in some words, get back a list of relevant pages. Revolutionary, right? And for 25 years, that model dominated. You search, you get a list of links, you click, you read, you make a decision. But here's what nobody talks about. The model was actually kind of annoying. Think about it. You ask Google a question. Google says, here are 10 documents that might contain your answer. Good luck. And then you, the human, have to do the actual work. You click through, you skim, you compare, you synthesize, you make sense of conflicting information. The search engine was basically a really fancy librarian pointing at a shelf. The answer's somewhere over there. Thanks, I guess. Now imagine a different model. You ask a question, and instead of getting a list of documents, you get the answer. Not here are some places that might help, the actual answer, synthesized, summarized, ready to use. And that's not hypothetical, that's Google AI Overview, that's Microsoft Copilot, that's Perplexity, that's ChatGPT with web search, that's the present tense. We've gone from search engines to answer engines, and the one word answer instead of search changes everything. And here's why it matters if you run a business. If you create content, you do that on the internet. In the old model, you needed traffic. You needed people to visit your website because that's where the information lived. That's where the conversions happened. That's where you made money. In the new model, the user might never visit your website at all. They ask the AI, what's the best CRM for a small marketing agency? The AI says HubSpot is widely recommended for its scalability and free tier. The user goes directly to HubSpot.com. Maybe they don't even do that. Maybe they just ask AI to sign them up. Your beautiful blog post comparing CRM options, well, your SEO optimized landing page, the AI read it and the user did not. This is what marketers are calling the dark funnel or the zero click environment. Dark because you can't see it. Your analytics shows direct traffic when someone types in HubSpot.com, but you have no idea that the real source of that visit was a conversation with Claude or ChatGPT. The influence happened in a black box. Zero click because, well, they didn't click. The AI answered the question, job done, move on. And this brings us to the existential shift in digital marketing. For decades, the game was traffic. Get people to your website. The currency was the click. In the answer economy, the currency isn't the click anymore. The currency is citation. When that AI answers the question, it's pulling from sources, it's reading content, and it's choosing based on complex calculation. We'll get to into later which sources trust, which sources to quote, and which sources to recommend. If your brand isn't cited, if your content isn't the source the AI trusts, well, you don't exist. Stefan Moritz, writing for CXL, put it perfectly. Welcome to the era of answer engine optimization, where being the answer, not just a link in the results, is the new currency of digital visibility. Not a link in the results, the answer. Okay, we've established the problem. Traffic is dying, the click is being replaced by the citation, the old playbook is burning. But here's where it gets interesting. If we want to win in this new world, we need to understand how these AI systems actually think, what makes them choose one source over the other, how to decide what's trustworthy. And that's what we're going to dig into after the break. After I promise the answer is going to surprise you. So, segment 2, inside the machine. All right, we're back. And now we're going to get a little technical, but stay with me because this is part that's actually going to help you win. To beat the machines, you have to understand how the machine thinks. So let's start with something called query fan out. And I want you to picture this. In the old Google, you typed best running shoes. Google looked for documents containing these words and done. Simple, dumb, done. In new AI powered search, and this is from Google's own documentation on their AI mode, when you type best running shoe, the AI doesn't just look for those words, it thinks. It asks itself, what does the person actually want to know? And then it generates a tree, a fan out of sub questions. Best running shoes becomes running shoes price comparison 2025. Most durable running shoes, trail running shoes versus road running shoes for flat feet, running shoes with best reviews on Reddit. The AI asked itself 50 questions you never typed. And then, and this is the wild part, it runs all of those searches simultaneously, retrieves information for all of them, cross-references the result, and synthesizes them into a single coherent answer. And this is why traditional SEO is dying. You optimized for best running shoes, but the AI is asking about durability, price, terrain, foot type, and Reddit reviews. If your content doesn't answer the question the user didn't ask, the question the AI asked on their behalf, you're invisible in the synthesis. Mike King from iPullRank, who's one of the smartest people working on this problem, built a tool, Qforia, that actually models this fan out process. You put in a keyword and it shows you all the subqueries the AI is likely to run. It's like having a map of the AI's brain. And what he found is that most content, even really good content, only covers about 30% of the fan out. The other 70% of questions unanswered, which means 70% of your potential visibility is just gone. But wait, here's where it gets weirder. Let's talk about how the AI decides what to trust. In the old world, Google used page ranks. Who links to you? How authoritarian are those links? It was like a popularity contest based on citations. AI systems still care about authority, but they're reading the actual content now. They're using something called vector embeddings. Here's a simple version. The AI converts all the text into math. Every word, every sentence, every concept become a point in a giant mathematical space. And in that space, things that mean similar things are close together. Dog and canine are become our neighbors, even though they're different words. Running shoe and athletic footwear are practically touching. And when you ask the AI a question, your question becomes a point in that same space, and AI looks for content that's mathematically close to your question. This is why keyword stuffing is dead. AI doesn't care you said running shoes 15 times. It cares if your content is semantically close to what the user actually needs. Mike King calls the shift going from deterministic to probabilistic. In the old world, if you optimized correctly, you ranked, cause and effect, deterministic. In the new world, AI is making judgment call. It's reasoning about your content. It might cite you today and not tomorrow, depending on context, depending on what else it found, depending on how confident it is in your information. You can't hack a probabilistic system. You can only influence it. And here's the most important thing the AI is doing: reasoning, evaluating, and judging. Just say that the AI finds two sources, right? One says a product costs $50, another says it costs 100. The AI doesn't just pick randomly, it looks at signals. Which source seems more authoritative? Which has more evidence? Which is more recent? The AI is trying to find the best answer, not just any answer. And that means content that just repeats the consensus. Content that's generic, that's derivative, that doesn't add anything new, gets ignored. The AI is hungry for what researchers call information gain: original data, unique perspective, expert insights, something it can't get anywhere else. If you're just rewriting what everyone else said, why would the AI cite you? Okay, so we've got query fan out, the AI asking questions you never asked, and we've got vector embeddings. Meanings matter more than keywords. We've got probabilistic reasoning. The AI is judging you, not just indexing you. So the natural question is, how do you actually win and what works? Well, luckily for us, some very smart researchers at Princeton decided to find out, and the result, they overturned everything we thought we knew about optimization. And that is next. Segment 3: the science of winning. All right, this is my favorite part because we're about to talk and get into actual data. No theories, no guesses, science. In 2024, a team of researchers at Princeton University, led by Agarwal and colleagues, published a groundbreaking study. They called it Generative Engine Optimization, GEO, and they did something nobody had done before. They actually tested what works. They took content, they modified it in specific ways, and they measured whether those modifications made the AI more or less likely to cite it. And the results? Some tactics that worked for Google for 20 years are now useless, or worse, they hurt you. Let me give you the hierarchy. For most effective to least effective, and remember, these are percentage changes in visibility in AI answers. Number one, adding quotes from credible experts, plus 41%, right? 41%, that's massive. When you include a direct quote from a recognized authority, a researcher, an executive, a known expert, your likelihood of being cited goes up by nearly half. Why? Because AI systems are terrified of hallucinating. They're designed to minimize making stuff up. When they see a quote from a real person, that's an anchor. That's something they can point to and say, I didn't make this up. Dr. Smith said it. It's safe. And number two, adding statistics, plus 30%. Plus 30%, right? Specific numbers beat vague claims every time. Sales increased significantly is weak. Sales increased by 47% is strong. The AI prefers concrete, quantifiable data because it can verify, it can compare, reason about it. And number three, citing your sources also put 30%. This is interesting. When you include content, citations, and references, when it looks like an academic paper or a well-researched article, the AI trusts it more. This aligns with something called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, where the AI is specifically looking for grounded truth. Cited content signals groundedness. And then we have fluency optimization. That's another plus 22%. Just being well written, grammatically correct, easy to read. The AI can parse messy text, but it prefers clean input. Technical terminology, plus 21%, using domain-specific jargon signals expertise. If you're writing about cybersecurity and you use terms like zero-day exploit and attack surface, the AI understands you know what you're talking about. Authoritative tone, plus 11%. Confident, declarative language. Not this might be helpful, but this is the solution. Passive, uncertain writing gets passed over. And then there's keyword stuffing, -9%. Let that sink in. The tactic that SEO consultants charged money for years, cramming keywords into your content, doesn't just work anymore. It's actively hurting you. The AI's reasoning layer detects it's a low quality. It's seen content stuffed with same phrase over and over and thinks this is spam, this is slop, I don't trust this. Let's just move on. So look at this picture. What wins? Quotes, stats, citations, expertise, confidence, and structure. The AI doesn't want your opinion. It wants journalism. It wants research. It wants sources verified, authoritative content that it can confidently stand behind. And if your blog post is just about rambling about a topic with no sources, no data, no expert voices, well, you might as well not publish it. The AI will never cite you. But if you write like an investigative journalist, gathering quotes, pulling data, building an evidence based argument, you become exactly what the AI is looking for. And here's the shift in the mindset. Old SEO was about writing the answer. The new AEO is about sourcing the answer. Your job isn't to be expert anymore. Your job is to aggregate the experts, interview them, quote them, let the AI borrow their credibility. And structure matters too. The Princeton study, backed by industry experiments, found that modular content broken down into clear, answerable chunks, perform way better than long, rambling paragraphs. Think of it like this. The AI is building a Lego house, and your content is the bricks. If your bricks are clearly shaped, easy to grab, and obviously useful, they go in the house. If your bricks are weird, muddied, hard to parse, the AI finds different bricks. First sentence of every section should answer the header questions directly. Inverted pyramid, journalist style, don't bury the lead. Okay, we've got the theory, we've got the science. Now let's talk about what actually building tools to do this and you can do next. Segment 4, the toolkit. Let's talk about who's building the future. HubSpot saw this coming, and honestly, they had to. Their entire business is built on inbound marketing. The idea that you create content, attract traffic, convert visitors. If the traffic dies, HubSpot's core model is threatened. So what did they do? They acquired a company called Xfunnel, an Israeli startup specializing in answer engine optimization. And they built something called AI Search Grader. The AI Search Grader is wild. Unlike traditional SEO tools that check your rankings, this tool analyzes something called mention depth, how detailed and positive the AI's knowledge of your brand is. It checks across ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini. It tells you, does the AI even know you exist? And if it does, what does it think? They've also integrated something called Breeze into the platform, an AI engine that helps you optimize content for AI discovery simultaneously with human readability and unified publishing. And they've got case studies, education dynamics, restructure their content into AEO friendly formats, concise answers, bullet lists, tables, and achieved 127% increase in organic traffic for just certain posts and captured 17 featured snippets. 127% by changing how they wrote, not what they wrote. Then there's Mike King's and I Pull Rank. I mentioned Q4 earlier, their fan out modeling tool, but King's philosophy goes deeper than any tool. He calls it relevance engineering. His argument, ranking is a byproduct of relevance. If you cover the semantic map of the topic better than anyone else, if your content answers more of the fan out with more authority and with more evidence, the probabilistic engine will naturally select you. Here's also one of the loudest warning voices: AI slop, low quality generated content. Some brands think the solution is the AI revolution is to pump out more AI written content. And King argues that's exactly backwards. The AI is getting smarter. It recognizes slop, it penalizes it. So the answer isn't more content, the answer is better content. And then there's Dan Petrovich's Dijon AI, who takes the most technical approach I've seen. He claims to have reverse engineered Google's query fan-out system based on patent analysis. He built tools like a fan-out generator, a tree walker that visualizes the probability tree of an AI's response to spot hallucination risk, and citation mining to find which sources of AI actually to trust. And his most interesting contribution is something called bi-directional prompting. Two directions. First, you ask the AI, what do you know about brand X? See what it attributes its associates with you. Second, you ask, what are the top brands for category Y? See if you even appear. This tells you two things: how the AI perceives you and whether the AI recommends you. Both matter, but they're different problem. Petrovic calls his approach model steering, using the content and citations to fundamentally alter the weights in the neural network that associates your brand with specific topics. Heavy stuff, but increasingly necessary. So what does all this mean for you? Let me give you the Monday morning action plan. So segment 5, the action plan. All right, you've been patient. Here's what to actually do. Pillar 1, content engineering. Stop writing blog posts. Start building knowledge modules. Break your content into discrete semantic chunks that can be easily extracted by an AI. Every major section should be framed as a question in the header, followed immediately by direct answers. Concise answer in one or first sentence. 30 to 50 words. Inverted pyramid. Don't make the AI dig. Add at least one statistic or data point to every section. Remember, 30% visibility boost and at least one quote from an expert, internal or external, to every substantial article. 41% visibility boost. Use structured data aggressively. Schema markup, FAQ page, article, product. This gives AI a machine readable layer that helps it parse your content and its structure. Pillar 2, fan out coverage. You need to answer the question the users didn't ask. Map the fan out for your key topics. Use tools like Qforia if you have access, or just use Gemini or Claude or ChatGPT and ask them, what are the related sub-questions for this topic? If the fan out reveals that users care about pricing, transparency in your category, and you don't have a content module on pricing, you've got a gap. Fill it, even if pricing isn't a high volume keyword in your traditional SEO tools. Think about format too. Different intents need different formats. Comparison intent, tables work best. How to intent, step-by-step list or video. The AI is looking for whether your format matches the query type. And pillar 3, digital PR and citation velocity. The AI trusts certain sources: Gartner, major news outlets, industry publication, academic journals, even Reddit for certain topics. And your goal isn't just backlinks anymore. The goal is mentions, being talked about in places the AI reads. If a Gartner report mentions your brand as a leader in your category, the AI learns that association. It becomes more likely to recommend you. Co-occurrence matter too. If your brand is mentioned alongside competitors and relevant keywords, brand X, a leading enterprise CRM alongside Salesforce and HubSpot, the AI learns that you belong in the category. That's vector proximity. Think of it as training the AI the same way you would train a new employee. Repetition, context, association, until it knows reflexively that when someone asks about your category, your brand is the answer. So let's close this. The agentic future. One more thing before we wrap, because everything we've talked about, it's actually just step 1. The destination isn't answer engines. The destination is agents. Right now, you ask the AI, what's the best hotel in Seville? And AI summarizes options. And within a few years, Gartner says by 2028, you'll say, book me the best hotel in Seville. And an AI agent will negotiate, book, and pay on your behalf without you ever visiting a single website. And in that world, visibility isn't about ranking. It's not even about citation. It's about being selected. The agent won't present 10 options. It will choose one, the best one, according to its training, its data, its understanding of trust and quality and fit. Being the second recommendation here is the same as being invisible. This is why EEAT, experience, expertise, authority, and trust, matters so much. It's being hard coded into these systems. An AI agent won't risk its users' money on a brand with low trust. It just won't. Brands that have optimized their knowledge graph presence, that have built a reputation the AI believes in, will thrive. Brands that rely solely on visual websites will be invisible to the agent. So here's the question I want to leave with you. If an AI agent were to describe your brand right now, if someone asked ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, what is brand X? What would it say? Would it recommend you? Would it even know you exist? And that's not a hypothetical exercise. That's a diagnostic. Go do it. Ask the AI about your brand, see what comes back. And if the answer isn't what you want, now you know what to do. Structure your content for extraction, source your claims, cover the fan out, get mentioned in places that matter, train the model to believe in you. Because the winners of 2025 won't be the brands with the best blogs, they'll be the brands that have successfully taught the AI to believe they are the best solution. That's the game now, and thanks for listening.